Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I'm up in Kingston, Ontario. I flew into Ottawa yesterday and then I grabbed a Via Rail train for a couple hours in the afternoon, made it down to Kingston. Last night my daughter and I just hung out, did a little kind of patio hopping, had some buffalo wings, some bao buns, and an amazing taco and a few cocktails here in Kingston. So today is my first full day. I'm standing down in Confederation Park. Shoal Tower is right in front of me. I'll show you that. And then this was Canada's first capital. Back in the 1840s, Kingston was actually the capital of the United Canadas. It's also known as the Limestone City. So anyways, we'll have a look around the city. We'll eat some food. I think we're going to do a tour of Canada's first prison. We're going to head out to the countryside, grab some lunch, and look around out there. So it should be an interesting video. Stay tuned. So you'll notice it's a little gray and kind of overcast. That's actually the smoke from the wildfires in the province of Quebec that have blown over. So I probably won't have a whole lot of sun while I'm here, but it's actually decently warm out. And just to the side of the park downtown Kingston here, there's a little pier and there's a few boats, and these boats will take you on cruises of the Thousand Islands. And there's actually one tour that will take you over to New York State and you can visit a castle for a few hours. So some interesting activities to do while you're down here. And then right across the water is Canada's Royal Military College. Kind of a historic little downtown here, with Kingston being the original capital of the United Canadas back in like the 1840s. So anyways, we'll have a little tour around and we'll see what's happening. So I'm down just in this little plaza behind City Hall, and actually looks like some vendors are going to be setting up with some maple syrup, fresh vegetables, and fruits from the local area. So that's kind of cool. Might have to take a spin through there later. But this plaza behind me, they'll actually make a skating rink in the winter when it gets cold, and it's free and open to all the residents. You can come down with your skates, go for a little skate. They usually have music and it's kind of lit up at night. Really, really cool. And then also down here is a Beavertail, which if you watch my Halifax video, I was saying how it's like the iconic kind of fair and summer food here in Canada. It's basically a sheet of fried dough that looks like a beaver tail, and it comes with various toppings. Maybe I'll grab one later. It's kind of early in the morning. It's not open yet, but definitely something you're going to want to try if you're anywhere in Canada. So there are a lot of churches in Canada, especially Eastern Canada, and religion's kind of dying off here a bit. So a lot of the old churches have now been refurbished and turned into like interesting Airbnbs. There's even one down in Wolfville. The church is now a brewery. It's actually a really good place to eat if you're ever down there, church brewing. But yeah, you'll see as you go around, especially the eastern half of the country, a lot of the churches have been repurposed. And if you're looking for a unique place to stay, some of those Airbnb churches are really, really cool. All right, so one of my favorite things about being in North America is we know how to do donuts. Between the US and Canada, there's some amazing donuts. One of my favorite places is a place called Maverick. You'll find it all across Ontario here. So I stopped in, I got a couple donuts for my daughter and I. I'm gonna tuck into like this old school chocolate coconut one. Back in the day, I used to love them at Tim Hortons, but these are like small batch, done every single day. These are superior donuts to any chain. All right, check that out. Loaded, just loaded with toasted coconut. We'll tuck into this. It's gonna be sweet, but I think it's gonna be delicious. Oh my God. That is so good. I'm probably a mess, but it's like ooey and gooey under that coconut. Check out this seagull. He is not impressed that I'm eating without him. We heard you, buddy. Anyways, yeah, check out Mavericks if you're in Ontario. It's absolutely delicious. All right, guys, so we're gonna go do a tour of the Kingston Penitentiary here. We're doing the express 45-minute tour. Not really allowed to like commentate and film inside, so I'll leave you with some shots and a little bit of voiceover. Should be a pretty good time. So we decided to do the Kingston Penitentiary tour, and you'll have 3 options of different tours that you can take. We opted for the 45-minute express tour. Gives you a brief tour through the jail. You'll see the cells and some other sites that cover the 1971 riot, and also threw in some escape stories, which made it a great tour. So they also have a standard hour-and-a-half tour option. It's basically the express tour, and then you get some insight from former staff as they will tell stories about their time in the jail. They also have an extended 2.5-hour in-depth tour where they go through the history. They get into a lot more. You get access to a lot more areas of the jail too. So if you're really keen on it, that might be the option for you. So overall, we really enjoyed the tour. Very interesting to walk around the grounds, see the cells and stuff. The jail was built back in 1833, so there's a bit of history here. The stories about the riots and the escapes are very interesting. So overall, highly recommend coming in and taking this tour if you're in Kingston. It's actually a pretty good time. Alright guys, finally got our famous Canadian Beavertail fried dough, cinnamon, sugar, and a lemon on top. Oh yeah, that looks good. Alright guys, so that's it. That's the famous Canadian Beavertail here in Kingston. Simple as it gets. Fried dough, cinnamon, sugar, and a little bit of lemon. Try one if you're ever in town. All right, so the smoke from the fires is still a bit thick, so we're not going to make it out to Prince Edward County, but we are in the town of Gananoque, about 20-25 minutes outside of Kingston. So it's a little small town. We're going to walk around, grab some lunch, check out the brewery, and probably head up and down Main Street here. So Gananoque turns out to be quite the cool little town, quite a bit of history here. It's known as the gateway to the Thousand Islands. There's a ton of old churches. They have a really cute kind of main street, some war memorials and stuff around. Behind me is the old post office, which is now just residences. And beside it is the old town clock tower built in 1903. All right guys, so we're here at Gan Brewing. Got myself a flight of beer. We have a Pilsner, a blonde, a sour, and an IPA. We'll tuck into these and let you know how it is at the end. All right guys, just finished up in the brewery. Highly recommend stopping in. Fantastic beer. I'm gonna say out of the flight, my favorites were probably a tie between the IPA and the sour. You can't beat a sour kettle beer here in Canada in the summer. Absolutely delicious. All right, so we're just finishing up Gananoque here. We're down in Confederation Park. Gonna take a little stroll along the river, check out the waterfall and stuff. There's lots of Canadian geese roaming around. If you're ever in the Kingston area, it is a fantastic food city. On the trip here, I ate at Red House, Atomica, Baja, and many more. Fantastic food. You gotta come down to Kingston and check it out. I'm off to Edmonton in the next leg of this Canadian trip, so thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.